Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. As you can see on the screen, we're going to be talking about Ray today. But before we get into that, you know where we like to start these stories? It's the same place we always like to start, and that's with some stories. We want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Because we've had one of these sessions already, and there were people from all over the country. So let us know, where are you tuning in from? And we've got a couple of brand new stories. Christian, we've been asking agents from all over the country, what's some wild things that have happened to you? And oh boy, have we heard some stories for you
There's
guys.
some there's some good ones. Guys, just so you know, we're gonna start with a little bit of stories, but fear not, we're about to jump in the platform. Just come along for the ride with us. We're gonna do some storytelling. We're gonna show you all the cool stuff. We're gonna let you ask all the questions you want. You can let us know where you're calling in from. You can even heckle us. We like that because we can't take this stuff too seriously. But yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, Tom. Let's go ahead and talk about the crazy stories that we've had.
Yeah. I love that. Bring on the heckles. Christian might
Yeah.
say you like pineapple on your pizza, but bring it on. It's okay.
Tiffany wants to know if we're taking her on a journey. Bum, bum, bum.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. So if you guys have heard some of these stories, or if you have any of these stories, let us know. Okay, so here's one of my new favorites. This is my new favorite story because we heard this. I want to say it was last week. So this is brand new story. We heard that they were helping a couple sell their house, but they wanted it put into the contract that they could go back to the house once a year to visit their dead pig that was buried in the backyard. That's something they had to have that in the contract. If there was somebody who's going to buy their house, that is something that they had to allow. I don't even know, Chris, is that even legal? Can you do something like that? Put that in the contract?
I don't know.
I don't know. So that's my new favorite story. We've got another one. There is another one that I think is also wild, and I feel like we all know this kind of person. But Christian, you have one that you like, don't you?
Yeah, you know what? I can't type and think at the same time, so I'm just going to say it. Sarah, out there from Wrightwood, I saw you. Wrightwood is one of my favorite places, and I used to ride my motorcycle up there all the time. So big shout out to you, Sarah. I know your small little, amazing little California town up there in the mountains. I miss it. I now live in NorCal, not SoCal, so I miss that little ride.
Oh, is that near
But
Tijuana, where all of your stories come from?
no, that's no, no, no,
Okay, sorry,
no,
sorry.
no. Tijuana's. Uh, my favorite story. Oh, right. Yeah. They're doing a walkthrough. Um, and final walkthrough, making sure everything's good to go. It's all kosher, looking around, everything looks great. Hey, let's just check underneath the sinks real quick and open the drawers or open the cabinets, and something's missing. The guy took the pipes with him. He packed his bags and took the pipes with him. Now, when we tell this story, we've told this a couple other times, and we're like, this has got to be the most bizarre story. The last webinar we did, somebody was like, yeah, I had a client who also took out their copper pipes with them because they were valuable. I was like, wait a minute, is this a thing? Is this what people do, that they can take their pipes with them? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's bizarre to me, but anyway,
Not only did, if you remember, not only did they take the pipes, they were dragging the pipes across the brand new wood floor. I was like, not even a gentleman thief. You're scratching up a brand new polished floor.
oh my gosh, it's crazy. All right, so guys, the purpose of us telling these stories really is so much work happens behind the scenes. You guys deal with so many things, and consumers have zero idea. The whole purpose of Rayse is to peel the curtain back to be able to show all of the nuanced work that happens behind the scenes, the stuff that you don't have time to explain. It's kind of falls out of context in some ways. Like, you're moving too fast with multiple clients, juggling, maybe trying to, cram a showing in and then go pick up the kids and then maybe get another showing. Or I mean, I don't have to explain it. You know what your lives are. It's all cuckoo town. You don't even get that offer until you go on vacation. If you want anything to happen in your business, that's when you book a vacation, and then that's what forces some sort of activity. The purpose of Rayse is to show all of that stuff in the background. And today we're going to look at Ray, which is the conversational AI piece that helps work now, takes Rayse and works the way you do. Instead of you trying to work the way Rayse does, Ray works the way you do. This became really, I guess it was crystallized in some feedback we got, angry feedback actually from one of our agents, and I'll tell you about this, and then we'll get into the platform. This guy was super into Rayse, but he was having, if you all remember how Rayse used to work, it was a little rigid. The journey was a little rigid. And adding activities was a little cumbersome. There's a lot of manual entry. And this guy was like, Christian, let me tell you what my Saturday looked like. I went to my listing. I cleaned out the pool. I swept out the garage. I had to replace a bunch of light bulbs. You don't even want to know what was in the refrigerator, but that thing was nasty. And I did a bunch of other things. I spent 4.5 hours there. Where am I supposed to put that in the Rayse platform? And I said, yeah, that's a fair point. And what his grievances are accurate. There's so many things that you guys do, and put them in the chat if you have a wild one that you had to do for one of your clients. But the point was, and I love my frustrated users because that's what drives us to really make those changes. I was like, you know what? You're right. We're going to go and solve that. And so what we did was we built RAE. And now RAE is the conversational piece that works the way you do. You want to talk about what you did, you can go to RAE and you can do a big dump. And we'll act like that guy for a second. RAE, I worked for 4.5 hours today. I cleaned out the garage. I swept out the garage. I cleaned out the pool. I had to clean out the refrigerator. I replaced a bunch of light bulbs. I did a bunch of work in the house for my listing. RAE's like, yeah, no problem. I'm going to take that big dump and I'm going to turn it into measured activities. I'll create some to-dos for you. We'll check off some outcomes and we'll update the client portal all for you. And all you did was just quickly do what you guys do, which is constantly on your phone, texting or talking or whatever. You're talking to RAE, there's your update, and this automatically updates your client. So that's the gist of what we're going to talk about today. It is like having an assistant. That's the whole point. So for so long, PropTech has forced you guys to try and work the way they work. No longer. The technology has come to be a reality where now Rayse works the way you do. And so that's what Rayse is all about. Okay, enough of this pitch stuff, but I just wanted you guys to understand where the inception point of it was. Let's get into the product and let's start giving some prompts. So you all gather some prompts, some updates that you would want to see entered into the app, and we'll gather those along the way. And we have some prompts, and I'm going to stop sharing. Tom, you can go ahead and start taking over. I'm seeing some people that are looking to get logged in. Do we need to address that real quick?
Yeah, we do. I'm also seeing a lot of really familiar names. So welcome in to all of you that have been with us for a year or so now. I see Charmaine, Cindy, Cora, Debbie, all of you guys. This is wonderful. Okay, welcome to the party. So yeah, let's go ahead and get in. So for those of you that have been in the platform before, you're familiar with this part. We're going to spend 1 minute on how to get into the platform and how to create a journey. I know you guys know how to do that if you've been in the platform, at least, all the 4 people that I just listed off. But for any of you that are brand new to the platform, go ahead and perk up. This is where we're going to get into Rayse. So the first thing is you're going to go to rayse.com, Rayse, and you're going to go to login. You see login right there. So we're going to go to agent login, and this is the hardest thing you're going to have to do all day, is remember the email address you have that's associated with your MLS. So if you put in your email address, it will take you into your dashboard. That's it. So just remember the email address that's associated with your MLS. All right, so now we're into our dashboard. So this is what it looks like. Now, if we are going to go into some parts of the product, and towards the end, we'll put in a link for what's called our 2.0 training with Yvonne. That happens once a week. So if you really want to get in depth with the platform, you can sign up for that. Today, we're going to be going over RAE. So we're going to keep some of the features that we have in the platform a little bit high level. So the first is, how do we create a journey? So here it is. So we're going to click create new journey on the bottom. If this is the first time that you've been in, go ahead and click on it. It'll be right in the middle. So create a new journey. And there are 4 things that you need for a journey. And this is your client's first name, last name, email address, and phone number. That's it. If we're working with somebody, we have at least these 4 things, right? So I've got my client in here, and then we need the journey start date. So if this is a brand new client, great. Let's say I'm going to meet them tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to put that as today. Or if you've been working with them for a few months, you can backdate this. Let's say it was January 3rd. So it's in there. So now we've got our start date. And we need the journey type. Are they buying or are they selling? That's easy enough, right? So let's say they're buying a home, and then we have our template. Now, if this is the first time that you're logging in, you're going to see Rayse default in here. We do have a default template that you can use, but you can, of course, customize your template. So whatever your process is, you can put that in here. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's it. Now we're going to create our journey. Click create, and it'll take you into your brand new journey. So let's say it's Rachel Green's journey. You know, we love our Rachel Green journey here. So if she's moving out of the New York apartment, it's time to get a house. It's been long enough. So we're in our journey here. Now, when we get to Ray, there are two places that you can access it through the platform. So the first is your assistant Ray. It's up in the top left. So if you click on this is Ray Home. This is where you go if you want to access Ray for any of your clients, and you just have to select the journey. You'll see the list show up here, and you can select that, and then we can start to talk to Ray. Now, I'm going to make it easier on myself. I'm going to go into the journey. And then in the top right, you know, we historically have had our 4 buttons here. All 4 of those are important, but I've also got Ray up here now. So I'm going to click on, so I'm in my Rachel journey, and I'm going to click on Ray. There it is. So now I've got my my Ray feature here. This box, what we're going to type in, that's called the commit. So that means that this is where you're going to put in your prompt. So let's do an easy one. Let's start out simple. So let's say I had an hour-long conversation with Rachel Green where we discussed financing options, and they said they're pre-approved for $650,000. Easy enough, right? So that's what our first prompt is. Now, it is doing this specifically for Rachel's Green. It's going to think for a second, but it's going to do 2 things. It'll create an activity. So whatever I did with my client, and then it'll check off outcomes. So it'll look into the journey, see what outcomes we need to check off, and based off of my prompt, it'll check off those outcomes. Or if it's not in the journey, it will create a custom outcome, which we'll see in a few minutes. So we have our activity here. You can see here's my call. Here's the date that we had it. Of course, I can change that. And then the time. So if it wasn't a full hour, it's going to default there. But I can say however long that was. If I want to put in 47 minutes, I can. But my call was an hour. So we're going to say it was an hour. And then our proposed outcomes, right? Financing and mortgage options discussed, and the pre-approval amount confirmed. Those are the 2 outcomes that we have in the journey that we just checked off. Now, when you put in a prompt, one question that we've gotten so far is, does it immediately shove that out to the clients? And the answer is no. You do have to select this save button. We want you to be able to get your eyes on it before your clients see it. So it'll suggest our activity and our outcomes in here, and we're going to select save. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here. So I have my activity and my 2 outcomes. We're going to go to Rachel's journey, and there are my 2 outcomes. It's checked off. That was a really simple prompt. We added that in. It checked off my outcomes automatically. I can even go to activities and my phone call. Boom, there it is, right up on top, my hour-long phone call. Okay, so that's how Ray works. Does that make sense? Are there any questions so far? Christian, looks like there is some. Are there any questions?
We got some good, yeah, we got some good stuff here. Nancy's already ahead of us. So Nancy, when we're about to switch gears into mobile, and I'll answer that question in just a second. Sharon is good. We've addressed that. Nancy wants to see this again. Let's do one more prompt.
One more prompt inside of the agent portal?
Yeah, we'll do another one. And we'll show the and feature here. So remember, this is conversational. So let's go ahead and add another prompt to the Rachel Green journey. And I don't know. Yeah, great. That one.
Okay. Imagine we went to coffee with our clients. So we went to coffee. We talked for an hour, setting up the search on the MLS and the notifications that they're going to get for any new homes that qualify. That's great. That's pretty standard.
Yep. It already has the 1 activity and 2 proposed outcomes. Before you click save, how about, and I forgot, we talked about all the financing things, all of them. Let's just put some funky language in there. All the financing things. Yeah. Go ahead and
I can also dictate this, which I should have done, but next time you can talk to Ray, where if you just want to speak to Ray, it'll record everything that you've dictated.
Great. There you go. So you see that the meeting time didn't change. We didn't add another activity. The O and was, oh, we did something else within that meeting and it captured it and it loaded in your proposed outcomes. And you can keep stacking. Oh, I totally forgot. We also discussed this thing, or we discussed this thing, and you can keep stacking them. We call that the O and feature. And until you click save, it's going to keep stacking it in that little, that commit. So let's click save and boom, now it's recorded. All right. Thanks, Nancy. We agree. Let's switch gears.
But look, it closed the milestone. Look how cool that is. It's not only are they checked off, milestone's closed.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
While we're here, why don't we just show also the where we at?
Okay. I like that. Let's go. I'm going home. You know what? No, let's go to Rachel's journey. Here we go. Let's make it easy on ourselves. Okay, so here is a new feature that is amazing, and I think this is great. If you're working as a part of a team, like a husband and wife team, or if you have other people, or if you just want to see where you're at with the journey, you can say, "Where are we at with this journey?" And what it's going to do is it's going to tell you what is the last things that we've done and what's coming up. What's coming up next? So if each morning you just want to, either in your mobile app or here in the agent portal, you want to see where we're going, here's what we just completed, and here's what's coming up next.
That's a pretty great update. Very, very soon, we're going to have it also suggest for you things to remind you, did you also do this? Because this is related to a milestone that you almost have completed. That way we can really push through this journey a lot faster, and it's much more conversational. All right. Remember, the whole point of this is to make sure that you are updating your client and they have a portal to see all this awesome work. So while you're bringing in all of these great updates into the platform, let's remind them just where this client portal is for anybody who hasn't seen this for the first time. I think, yeah. So this is a journey with a lot of stuff in it. We call this Steve Perry's journey. Yes, that's a joke. And you can always click the client portal button right up there at the top to see what your client sees. So this is what the client is that is connected. This is Steve Perry's client portal. So you get to see what Steve is looking at. We've been working together with Steve for way too long. We have 5 homes under evaluating. We have 2 homes that we wrote offers for, and we have 11 rejected homes. You can always see what Steve is seeing, and you can see all these activities, all the outcomes down below, the number of tours and offers. So as you're dumping new prompts in via RAE, those activity numbers are just stacking, the outcomes are stacking, tours are stacking, like all of that stuff is stacking, and the check boxes are being automatically checked off so that Steve can see the progress. So this is really the whole point, is to make sure that they're connected to this client portal. All right, now let's get to the mobile app, shall we? While Tom is showing us how to log in to that, actually, you need to talk them through how to log in, right? To the mobile
Let's
app.
do that. Yes. So at the top of this webinar, I saw Yvonne had put in both the App Store and the Google Play Store link. It is in both, and if you want to look for that, you can go into either App Store and look up Rayse Assistant. If you just put in Rayse, it's not going to show up. I don't know why, but if you put in Rayse Assistant, RAYSE Assistant, you'll be able to download the Rayse app. Now, once you're here, you'll see email and password, and I know our reaction is going to be, well, let me put in my MLS email and password in here. That's actually not where this goes. On the bottom, you're going to see sign in with MLS. There it is. So we're going to click on that, and you're going to see your MLS on the list here. From here, you'll be able to click on your MLS and then use your credentials, and it will get you logged into the platform. So it's really simple to do this. When you get there, I have a giant phone. It's like a tablet in my pocket, so I can see the whole screen. For some of you, it may get cut off here. You do have to scroll down just a little bit. So if you only see the continue button, scroll down a little bit. It's right there. It's just underneath that. You click on sign in with MLS and you'll be able to get in. Now, Christian's going to tell you his really funny joke while I get signed in.
I am? What's the funny joke?
I don't know.
Oh, you just put me on the spot. All right, funny joke. I don't have anything right now. I can't be put on the spot that way. Anyway, but I will tell you what the purpose of the mobile app is now. For all of you who remember the mobile app, there wasn't much to remember. There wasn't anything on it. All it did was it was basically mobile beacon technology. It would track your locations and send that up to appointments on your dashboard. We've now ported over some functionality over to the mobile app. our focus is on two key areas: appointments and RAE. So we know that you guys are on the go. We've gotten lots of feedback that we want to be able to update things on the fly between showings, on the way to showings, coming away from inspections. By the way, we do talk a lot about the buy side, but for all of you who are focused on listings, we have sell side too. We just tend to talk about buy side because it's easier and we like making fun of buyers. But we have both sides. So everything that you see on buy side, we have on sell side. The mobile app has appointments and it has RAE. Okay. And I'm going to walk you through how both of those work. We wanted you guys to have your assistant on your phone with you so that you can do updates however you want to work, whether you want to text them in between appointments, if you want to do dumps on your way home after 17 appointments, however you want to work, it doesn't matter. It's now on your mobile phone and you can get things in there. The reason, I think Nancy had this question. The reason, Nancy, you can't see any of your journeys is because you can't see any of your journeys on the mobile app, full stop. That isn't there. Its purpose is for you to interface with RAE and your appointments. So here's how that works. RAE in the background is tracking when you land at a residential home. It tracked your time in the car and your mileage and how much time you spent at that residential property. And it puts it up into a card here for you to decide if this is work related or not. It's been a while since I've been on Tinder, so you have to swipe this card one way or the other. Tom, which one is okay? Slide right to attach to a journey. Swipe left to delete it. That's literally all you have to do. If this is, is this your friend's home down the street and you don't want to RAE to track this forever, you just swipe left, hit the delete, forget forever, and it'll never track that location ever again.
Okay. Swipe left if we're dating, swipe right if it's a no. Got it.
Swipe left if we're not dating. I don't know how it works. I've been, and if I knew how it worked, I'd be getting in trouble right now anyway. So swiping right attaches these to a journey. So you just take a card, you swipe it right, click that little blue button there, and then select your journey. And it will take drive time, mileage, and time you spend on location and attach it all the way into that journey. And that's all you have to do. So that's a great way for your mileage, your drive times, all of that time that you spend out in the field. It's all automatically given to you here. And all you need to do is attach it to the journey. So those are what appointments are for. You now have an interface on your app to work with those appointments much easier. Now, RAE is right down there on the bottom right. Those are really the only two areas that I think you need to worry about. Clear out your queue on appointments, attach them to journeys, delete them. RAE will learn over time. It gets clean. And then you also can just talk to RAE. Select whatever journey you're working on, whichever client's journey you want to RAE to update, and just give it a dump. Just tell it. And it can be as short as I just had a showing with my client for like 55 minutes. They hated everything. Move on. And if you put that in there, it'll go ahead and log everything. Showed Highland to my buyers this morning. If Highland is already in this, it's going to automatically default and create an activity. It knows showings are typically 60 minutes. So it put down 60 minutes for you. It gave you proposed outcomes. You literally don't have to think about anything. We've thought about as best we can for you, and RAE will just be as helpful as it, they, she, he can be, however you want to refer to as RAE. That's it. And if you want to do big, huge dumps, like, have we done that example yet, Tom?
We haven't, but I love that one where it's like the end of the day and you're like, hey,
yeah.
oh, I didn't log anything. Let me just do it all at one time.
So we're gonna do a big dump right now. If we click the microphone, will it select the activities and outcomes that we completed? Nancy, I don't understand that question. If you click the microphone, you can speak into it, and whatever you tell it, RAE's going to parse that into activities and outcomes for you that you completed. And it'll show up on that screen, and all you got to do is click save. Yes, whoop, whoop.
And I had to paint the garage. Let's see if it's going to do it for me. Oh, not on my computer. Okay. But yes, the microphone is how you can dictate this into RAE. So let's go ahead and send that up. But this is like the daily dump. Sorry, Christian, this is yours. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. We're attacking the chat. We got our staff in there attacking the chat. You're doing prompts. This is what we do. We got like 17 things going on, right?
Yeah.
Um, do clients see the note section? Uh,
Mm,
no, right?
no,
Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
yeah. No.
That being
Ray,
said, don't put anything in there you wouldn't want your client to see. But no, they don't get to see
yeah,
the notes section. But that's not
yeah,
a place to say that your client is a huge pain in the neck.
yeah. Not in the note section, but Ray understands its job. So you can vent to Ray and tell them, you can tell Ray, this client sucks. I hate this client. They're dragging me around town. I'm so sick and tired of it. But whatever, man, we got to hustle. Ray will be like, cool, I got you. Sounds like you had a rough day, but I'm logging all that stuff for you. Ray doesn't care. Ray's got your back. It will never, it'll never log anything negative about you. That would be counterintuitive. All right. Did we get the big dump on there?
We did, and there was the 3 activities and the 3 outcomes that were in there. We click save, but that was like the whole thing. That's like, hey, what a day. I had a morning with the title company and talked about the closing costs, and then we showed Highland. And they absolutely love the kitchen. They want to move fast. And then after lunch, we spent like 2 hours pulling comps for a Highland because they're serious. And then we had to arrive 35 minutes early because the listing agent was on vacation and I had to sweep out the garage. So all of those things were in there and it came up with 3 activities. It came with 3 outcomes and it pulled all of that from the one big dump that we did at the end of the day. All right, let's do our funny one, Christian. But by the way, you
right.
guys, if you want us to test anything, like throw a prompt at us and let's see what Ray comes up with. Put it in the chat now. We'll go ahead and give it a shot. But let's start with our pig reference here. So let's say we just got off the phone with our clients who said this. Just got off the 20-minute call with my client. They wanted me to put it into the contract that they can visit their dead pig, which is buried in the backyard at least once a year, and the new owners have to allow them to do this. That's a true story, by the way. Just so you all know that we did not make that up. That is an actual thing that happened. And then it comes up with our activity, client call discussing special contract terms and annual property visitation rights. And then our proposed outcome, special contract terms discussed. That's a custom outcome. It created that because of this prompt, which this is so great. So let's go ahead and save that. It's now going to be in the journey because that's something that happened. Okay. Once the deal's closed, will the client still have access to the work that is done by us?
Yep.
That's a great question, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Oh, I thought you were going to answer, but yeah.
Yeah. They can go back to their client portal.
Yeah.
But at the end of a journey, if we want to talk about closing the journey, when you close that journey, yes, they can always go back to their client portal. But remember, at the end of the journey, you get the closing report. So they can always go back and see this. You can give this to them. They can give this out to their friends. If they're like, oh my God, you're moving? Hold on, let me get this. Let me show you what my agent did. So at the end, when you close that journey, you get this great closing report that has the photo on it, your branding, your headshot, but it's everything that happened in the journey. So if you're familiar with this, remember, this is the storytelling part. This is where you get to show them all of these things. And Christian brings this up in his presentations, but we did 2 different studies that came out the same way. That our clients think that throughout an entire journey, it takes like 15 hours or something like that. And we know from working here at Rayse, from seeing all this, it takes somewhere between 80 and 110 is normal. So the fact that they think it takes so little time shows that they're going to see this and go, wait, I thought you only worked 15 hours. Why is there 26 pages to this report? So as we go through the journey, it's building this closing report that I now get to use to show them here at the end, at the closing table, when they're cutting that check. Here, take a look at this. This is everything that we did together. This is the wedding album, right? It's our story together. But what you can also, you'll notice on the top, there's no client information in here. There's somebody in the last one said, do you have to redact their information?
Don't give up my special trick.
What's the special trick?
We learned something good in that last one. I just don't step on my step on my great idea.
I won't.
All
right. You don't need a redact pen. There's no client information in here, though.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to run over you there, but guys, okay. Another agent in our one earlier was they had a really, really great spin on it. They loved the client. Leave the closing report up.
Yeah.
They love the closing report. and they were like, wait a minute, can I use this some way in social media? And I was like, boom, somebody really, really got their arms around this idea. There is so much interesting data about your specific work that's in the Rayse platform, whether you're clicking the metrics button on the journey to see how many hours and miles and whatever, or if you get to a closing report and you spit out this closing report, there's amazing data. We don't have presentations for every single thing that you can think of, but if only there was a tool out there that you could use to take a report about yourself and parse it into different things. Wait a minute, there is. OpenAI has this product called ChatGPT, or Anthropic has this program called Claude, that you can give it a report, you can give it any kind of data, you can give it whatever you want out of the Rayse platform. For example, take your closing report that you did with a client, put it into ChatGPT or Claude and be like, hey, from this data, I want to show off all the hard work I do for my clients. Give me 10 social media posts that I can put out there for the next week. And I want them on these formats. And from that information, this is unique to you and you alone, you can have all the social media posts that you want just from this, showing off everything that you've done for your client. This is your data. This is you. This is about your work. So utilize this data in any single way that you want. I just loved that idea from the last session so much. I'm going to tell everybody, she's going to hate it because I just took her idea and I'm just going to blast it out to the world. But we are investing in agents and we want you all to win. You want to stand out. You want to start changing the perception of what clients think about real estate agents. Then show them what you do. It's really that simple, right? Like, you do 80, 100, 1 year's worth of work with some of your clients. Why doesn't anybody else know that? Well, let's just change the narrative and show them what's really happening. So with Ray, you can just get information in there very simply. You have a past client that you just closed with, start a journey with that past client. You don't have to invite them. You can create it just so that you can enter in all the things and build an entire journey in retrospect, just so you can get to a closing report. Now you have all your data, social media blasts, whatever the heck you want, and go ahead and start advertising what a badass you are. And hopefully use that for your next client. And then start them on the new journey, get them connected to a client portal, and you guys are off and running. This is how we change the narrative, and this is how we take the power back, because agents really are the only people that add value in this entire industry. That's my opinion, and I get in trouble for saying it, but I don't care. Okay. Feels like a Friday. What other questions?
For the record, I wasn't going to say any of that. I was just going to say
right.
your client info isn't on the title page.
I love it. I love it. You can tell I was building up to that.
It's my story.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Hair report, mind blowing. Yeah, Cora, we thought so too. We just heard it about, an hour and a half ago, which, it was great. Okay. What does the weekly report look like? I don't have one on me. This is what the closing report looks like.
We don't have a mid-journey report, but we are working on it. The mid-journey report has been something people have been asked about. This is only a report you can get once you close, and that was because it was dependent upon a bunch of calculations to get to, certain numbers at the end, and we knew that was laborious, and we were changing that, so it's coming. So right now, the closing report is the only thing that you can get at the end of the journey, but Tom, show them that metrics pane so that they can copy and paste that and use that on social.
Yes, I believe what she was talking about was the weekly email that goes to the clients that has a report of everything they did.
Oh, yeah, that happens. So the client portal every week reconciles and shows your client everything that you do from the client portal. Yes, it does do that. My bad. I've forgotten all the things that we've built. And it also sends an email. It sends an email to your clients to remind them to come back to the client portal so they can see all the awesome work that you've done. And that's about the gist of it. There is your metrics dashboard here. This is showing you all the hours worked, activities, et cetera, et cetera. Some of this stuff doesn't go to the closing report because a lot of reasons. Before, it was difficult for agents to log activities, so we didn't want zeros up there. So we didn't want to expose any goose eggs for anybody on their closing report, so we left it off. We also don't think hours is the best quantification of your value. So for an agent that crushes it and can get through a transaction in 25 to 30 hours, like good for you. That's awesome. Maybe you don't want to show hours though, because that's not it, but your activities might be super high. All of the outcomes that you created are still the same. There's plenty of stuff to show. So that's why some of that stuff isn't there. We're trying to get you new versions where all of that stuff is on a toggle and you get to choose. It's coming. All right. What other questions do we have? We're coming up on, well, we have a little bit more time.
Yeah, we got that.
On the last one, we've gotten a lot of questions about share journey. Why don't we just go over that little feature really quick?
I also see Cora asked, what does it mean when we invite the client? And I think those dovetail nicely into each other. So just so
Sure.
you, everybody hears this, when you create a journey, it doesn't send anything to your clients. We want to be intentional about that. So if you're wondering if you should create one of these for your client and maybe backfill some of it, at what point are they going to see it? Only when you're ready for them to see it. So when you create a journey, they don't see anything. So if you want to create one for a past client, go ahead and do that. That way you can get that closing report. That's what we were just talking about. But the way that it works is once you create the journey, up in the top right, there's invite a client, and you actually have to select the invite client button. This will say invite client. I just sent the invite a few minutes ago. But once this sends out, they're going to get the invitation and they can go to the client portal from there. But it doesn't send them anything until you click this button. So that's how you can invite your clients. Now, Christian, you were going to talk about how do we share the journey?
Yeah, so we had lots of questions from team leads in the last call. They said, how do I get multiple teams on the same, or multiple team members on the same journey? We thought about that, and we have shared journey. So there's two things that are very similar in this. We believe that you should invite as many clients into this journey as you want, and every of them have their own login. So if you're inviting your client, but they're a husband and wife and they have different emails, put them both in. If they have kids that want to follow along, you can put them in. If grandma and grandpa wants to follow along, you can put them in. Put as many people in that's connected to this as possible. It's a way to expand your sphere. So all of that hard work that you do for, just the couple, but now you've given visibility to people that are just on, connected 1 degree of separation in their sphere. You're getting your name out there and you're showing all your hard work. This helps you build your sphere and referrals. So that's context for invite client. Share journey is the same thing. You can share this journey with coworkers as long as they're inside of your brokerage. And if you're in an MLS, it's entirely in your MLS, so you shouldn't have any problems. But you can invite coworkers into this journey and share the journey across as many people as you want. You just you should be able to search their name, add them to this journey, shows up on their dashboard, and you both can work on it. There are permissions that you can assign to whoever you're inviting into the journey. So they can't close it, for example. You're the only one that wants to close it. But if you have an assistant, a transaction coordinator, you work with a partner, if you have multiple people involved, if you are a listing agent and you want to share this with somebody who's going to sit on a property for you, you can do that. You can share all of this stuff around with all your coworkers and you can centralize yourself on a journey. That's what that shared journey is all about. Okay. Anybody else have any more questions? If not, we can wrap it. Anybody got any jokes? Anybody got any good stories out there? It's Thursday afternoon, guys. What do we got? Where's everybody calling in from mostly? Did we start? We didn't get any of that.
We started with that, and yeah, we got some
Ohio, North Carolina. I know it's getting late on that side. Got some, yeah, a lot of Ohio. All right. Tampa, nice one. All right.
Yeah.
Miranda, you're welcome.
Yes, we will be sending out this replay. We're going to be sending it to a lot of people. So yeah, if you want to go back over this, see some of the prompts that we put in, how it works. Yeah, we'll be sending this out in the next day or two.
All right. One last recap, and then we'll just sign this off. Download the app. The app is your new assistant. Ray is there, and location appointments is on there. Get familiar with it. Give us some feedback. If you want some changes, you love it, but you wish it could do this thing, we need to hear that. We're moving really quickly and we want to address those. But your workflow should be this. Whatever you're doing out in the field, just pick this up, click Ray, select your journey, and just give it an update and let it just populate that journey for you. All right. come into the journey structure, see what it's checked off, check off a couple more things, go into RAE, give it a prompt, text it in there, whatever. Just shove your updates in there and see how it works and play with it. Again, nothing gets sent to your client unless you ask it to. But let's go. Let's connect those clients to this journey and show all that awesome work.
Yes. One more
what?
thing.
Wait,
Okay, go ahead.
Tim.
If pilgrims were still here today, what would they be known for? Their age.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like it. Yes, recordings will be sent out.
Yes. Also, if you want to take a more in-depth look at the platform in its totality, so we focused on RAE today because that's our new and exciting feature. We wanted to show you all the different use cases that we've thought up for it. But we do have a link to what's called our 2.0 training. Yvonne, if you could throw that in the chat. It is with the lovely Yvonne, and she is also funny. But she will take you through everything. So from logging in all the way through creating presentations, how to work a journey, how to create a journey, how to close everything out, and then how to use the closing report. So all of that's going to be in there. So go ahead and sign up for that if you want to take an in-depth look at the platform.
Nancy loves the shorter trainings. So do we.
Nice.
So with that, we're out of here. Thanks, y'all. We love you guys. Thank you for being part of this crazy movement. And let's go show all the work that you guys do. Hit us up on the support lines. Give us some feedback. We're building rapidly, and thanks you all for being here. Appreciate it. See you on the other side.
Thanks, everybody.